Hi, welcome to Lore Friday for May 29th, 2020. I'm your host, DM Galabon. On today's Lore Friday, we're going to be taking a look at The Haunted Tomb, which is an adventure out of the Princes of the Apocalypse campaign designed for level 1 characters. So let's go ahead and get on with the show. All right, the Haunted Tomb is one of the things that is going on around the town of Red Larch that the characters will find out about as they talk to different folks in the town. Um, the granddaughter of one of the people knows that there's a tomb there, and somebody else notices or knows that there's a tomb in town as well. And you give a little brief description of what the tomb looks like and basically where it is, and you have a little map here of the surrounding region that shows you where it is, so it's just not too far away from the actual town of Red Larch itself, but there's no map given of the actual complex. So if you're going to play this on uh, virtual tabletop, or if you have to kind of figure out how to draw it out. It's got a little bit of details on the size and location of everything. Now, there's a couple of living enemies and a non-living enemy that you have to deal with as well in this adventure. So there's a brigand camp hidden in a boulder jumble nearby, where there's a half ogre and a goblin that have set up camp, and they are watching the tomb. And they attack anyone who invades their camp, but they might ambush characters depending on whether the PCs set off the alarm that they have so ingeniously set up. Um, the alarm system is at the door. There's a metal wagon wheel uh, uh, or metal wagon wheel fittings in against the inside of the door. If the door is pushed open without removing the alarm, these pieces fall with a loud crash. And so that crash would alert the goblin and half ogre, and they would come to investigate, and they might sneak up and try to attack the characters from behind. And then you have a little descriptive text that you read about the uh, dimensions of the tomb. And if you get in there and you touch this iron sword, a ghostly figure arises, and that's a specter. And the specter is lawful neutral, so it doesn't attack on sight, simply warns intruders to leave his master's tomb, and may in fact talk to the characters, but doesn't really know a whole lot about what's going on. And if the characters leave, doesn't pursue them. So if they insist on trying to force their way into the tomb, of course the specter will attack and they have to fight it. So once they get done fighting that and they get inside the chamber, there's there's a coffin in there and a rusty iron chest at the foot of the coffin. And if you open a coffin, there is a skeleton dressed in a rusty breastplate grasping a long sword, which is in fact a flying sword. So it's a magic weapon, basically. And the weapon will attack intruders when the coffin is open, and it returns to its place in the coffin if no one remains. Actually, a flying sword is not a magic weapon. It's actually a construct, a creature type. It's a flying object creature type, and it has its own set of own stat block. Armor class 17 hit points, challenge rating 1/4, but it will fly and hover and will make attacks against against the uh, party members. And then the chest has the actual treasure in it, and it's in a false bottom of the chest. So there's a portrait, and that is worth 100 gold pieces, and 2 rings of braided silver and electrum, 25 gold pieces each. So now the thing I like about this, so many of these little low-level adventures here are perfect little uh, side adventures for a homebrew campaign. You can just easily take these little bite-sized things and drop them in and make it feel like as you're exploring around the world of your homebrew setting, your initial homebrew setting, that you can find these little things and they're vague enough and general enough that they don't have to connect to anything, or you can connect them to anything that you want in your own homebrew campaign. Uh, it's there. And the other nice thing is they use standard monsters, and so it works with uh, any edition of D&D going all the way back to the beginning. I mean, you may have to tweak some of the things because I'm not sure if there were half ogres back there, so you might toss out the half ogre and bring something else in from the monster manual uh, back in those days that would that would fit the bill and have similar hit dice and everything. Um, and then the Spectre, I mean, that kind of undead has been around forever. And you could change it based on the edition with what the power level is compared to your party. You can also take this and reskin the monster or repopulate the monsters with something different and put it in as a little side adventure for any level campaign. So you could put this in for a level 15 party, just ramp up the types of enemies in that bandit camp, and then have much more powerful undead guardians, and maybe a much more powerful construct that is actually guarding the tomb than a flying sword. Um, or you might have it be an actual animated magical weapon that there's some process whereby the party can remove the animation and then claim the weapon and have that kind of be part of the reward for doing this little side trek. So there's lots of things that you can do, and I like some of these little bite-sized things because it's just little nice little drop-in things that you can um, go through in the course of a single session of gameplay, and it's just something nice that if you need. Yeah, as a DM, if you need something extra, you don't have anything really prepared, you can just drop that in. That can be part of your campaign, and off you go. You're on to the next story or on to the next week. Uh, so that is the Haunted Tomb. Like I said, it's from Princes of the Apocalypse, which was published in 2015. In April of 2015, it's like I said, suitable for just about any edition of D&D. It's got you know got just about everything that you would want in terms of a nice little drop-in campaign, uh, nice little drop-in thing for your campaign. All right, well that is going to do it for Lore Friday. Remember, click the subscribe button down below, and that will let you know every time we drop a new video. Go ahead and click the bell there, and you'll get those alerts when new videos pop up on the channel. If you have played Princes of the Apocalypse, or if you've run Princes of the Apocalypse, what did you like about this haunted tomb? Did your party do the haunted tomb? what did you like about it, either as a player or as a DM, or how did it get changed from the way it's written here? Because, again, because it's so general, it can be embellished to really make it customized for any particular campaign, even if you're doing the main storyline. So leave any comments down below. I'd love to see what you guys are doing with this. All right, take care, and we will talk to you next time. Uh, good night.